Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. We are going to work on Craftly Hall again today. It'll be day 19 and day 20. There is not that much that's going to happen on the pages. One's going to be a half page, the other one's going to be a half page, but there's a lot of reading. So I hope you don't mind that. It'll help you to learn a good bit of the story here in this part of it. And we're setting ourselves up for the investigators to come in. Okay, this here was one of my antiquarian pages that I learned from Carrie the Crafter. And I had a great big old Paris stamp, and one with a bicycle, another one with the wording, and you can see my script stamp behind it. I have to make up some more of those pages. They were really neat and very useful because you could put them, in any journal depending on if that had to do with that theme. This here, am I down? I'm down too low, aren't I? I'm sorry. You couldn't even see that page. There we go. So you can see the antiquarian page there. I put it across from here because it has the bright pink. And this here was a stamp off page. I was doing something. Oh, it was those pockets that I made. And they had the blue sky behind them and some beautiful pink roses on them. Well, anyway, I was putting some lettering in the background. And you can see there's two different kinds. There's that one, which is one of my favorites with the Z and the alphabet. I did that in a school journal, by the way. And the other one that's on that same little stamp pad, that was used as well. Then I had some of my scroll work that I put on there. And I forget out what else I was stamping off that day. I think I see some crackle, like some shatter or crackle stamp. And so I just took it and made it a side tuck. And I inked around the outside edge with, I think that was with ground espresso. This was one of the pieces left over from the floral alphabet, I think it is. Look at that beautiful little butterfly. Isn't he pretty? So I thought that would go in here really nicely. And then, since it had to do with the alphabet, I just took one of the excess pieces that had a pink background with the crackle on it, by the way, and ABCs and part of the alphabet. So I thought that was a beautiful Stamperia pad. It was. I really am sad it's gone. Nilda says it's not in print anymore, and you can only find it if you're really lucky. So, and this is a vellum page. It's got glitter inside. And I'll stop here, but this is my kaleidoscope page that I came up with. I wanted something that, you had them little tubes that you would spin it, and you could see all these different things in a kaleidoscope, and it would grow bigger or smaller. Well, this is sort of that. I have a scene, it's in the back, and then you can tuck all through this thing, all over the place. Wherever you need to, you can tuck under here and here at the same time. It just didn't matter. You had the ability to tuck and put things in here. And then I got this from the Dollar Tree. It was one of the dies. They don't have very many dies, but one of the ones that they did have, I thought would make kind of a cute page corner. So I put that in here as well. And then this paper came out of that one old paper pad that I'm just now getting ready to kill. I think it's almost dead. I did the envelopes with it just last week. But you can see some of the pretty florals that was on that page. I got postcard stuff on that one. So anyhow, there you go. I will link that at the end because it's a very simple piece. You make two triangles the same shape with the same type of corner, and then you make two more. You flip that over and cut it. You can cut one out and you just cut two the one way and two the other, and then you sort of weave them a little bit. And that's all you had to do. It was a very simple pocket. It's a page cover, so if you got a white page, it's perfect. You just put something in that little window, and it will do the trick for you. Okay, this is my two signatures I have so far. This will be on the last page of this second signature. The first one's so much smaller. I don't know what happened. Can you see the two different sizes? I got more oomph in this one, I guess. But so this will end this one, and I have to start another one on day 20. So I just have that over to the side here. Okay, this one, the little storyboard, it came with the set of this. Let's see. I think it came with this, which you can see some little stones dropping and the dust and everything in the sunlight. And then it came with this, the coin purse. I'm pretty sure that's the two that came together. And then it has Rose shuddered as a stone suddenly dropped to the floor beside her. So that is our story for today. These little pieces are extras that I found to go with the storyline, and this as well. So let me start the story. This is where she had looked behind the bureau, remember, and she saw that Rose get away candy wow. And that is this page right here, where it's, let me see, where if you pull the folder out, you can see the getaway. That's the tag that came with the page that day. And I wanted to work it to where it looked like the wallpaper was ripped away from it. And the bureau is over here on this page. But yeah, I'm not Doctor, well, he could be Dr. Ernest Brundle. He is going to write some notes and stuff in here about this because I think this might be the first solid piece of evidence that he has found or gotten about all of this. And that's why evidence is up here and registered and all that. So that's what my meaning was behind that. Then, as she falls back, shocked at what she had found, she shuddered as a stone suddenly dropped to the floor beside her. Then another fell, then another, as though the first drops of rain, a rain shower. Another quickly followed, then dozens hit the wooden floor with great speed at almost the same time, bouncing across the floor. The room had only to be replaced by yet more. Terrified, Rose covered her head with her hands and ran from the room, narrowly avoiding being hit by any of the missiles. Now remember, there were stones in this story before. Can you remember where? I made a little note. They weren't thrown or anything, but they were seen. Okay, I'm giving you that hint because I think there's a tie-in here, and I'll give it to you a little later when we're crafting. When Geoffrey came home a couple of hours later, she rushed to him, trying to explain what had happened, mixing her words and rushing through the story with such haste that he had to lead her to a nearby settee and implore her to breathe, to take a moment and then start from the beginning. She told him again, this time with more coherence, and he listened attentively without interruption. She also told him about Alice's experiences, wondering what could be happening, how there could be writing behind the bureau, how dozens of stones could have fallen to the floor without causing any damage to either the windows or the ceiling. Coughing fiercely, with a headache that was quickly developing into a migraine, Geoffrey prepared for her a tonic of ergo alkaloids, soaked her sore eyes with cotton swabs, and then saw her to bed, doing his best to assure her that he would get to the bottom of it all and that she needn't worry. Okay, we're going to stop right there, and then we're going to start our crafting. But I have it kind of set up how I want to lay it on this page. There's not going to be any cutouts or anything fancy like that. I think what I'm able to do here is I'm going to make a pocket out of this thing. Not a pocket this way. I'm going to have a double pocket, I guess you could say, because we're going to glue it down like a backwards C, and it's going to be a pocket for this thing right here, the file folder. Okay, while I'm gluing this down, I want to thank you, everybody, for coming to visit, for joining me, for spending some of your time with me today. I'm always appreciative of any of your comments and likes and just support along the way. I don't know. You always have ups and downs in this business, and when you see your numbers go a little higher, or you have more comments and people interacting with you, it's always better. I don't know. This is a hard business, and this particular this particular thing that I've taken up, I'm trying to make sure that that's over enough. This particular hobby that I've taken up seems to be one of the popular ones, and it's always hard for you to find somebody to watch. I was just talking with one of my friends today, and we were talking about how hard it is to find somebody to watch and then to want to consistently watch them as well. That's the other part. I mean, some of us are on here just to kind of have fun. I watched a guy earlier and he was just wanting to have fun, wanting to explore and experiment with. He was doing some mixed media with the smooshing technique, remember? And he was covering, he did cards though, it seems like. But that's what I started out doing. I'm trying to reposition this. This was just on copy paper. And I put it on some of my leftover wallpaper, which is kind of appropriate, since we pulled the wallpaper away and Get Away was behind it. But so this is going to go down into the tag. I'm wondering if I need to put a pull on it though, because it's going to be down in there and just the tip of it's going to be touchable. Trying to see if there's anything here that might go with the color scheme. This blue I kind of like. The green, not so much. And that orange, no. No. Well, let's try this one. It's so vague, you don't know what's on it. So let's fold that one in half. Yeah, so it's, I've actually took on a couple of new subscriber, I subscribe to a couple people, let me put it that way. And, I'm already starting to get kind of bored. I don't know what it is. I don't know. You start to watch and then I guess you're preset on wanting to watch certain things. That's the problem. But sometimes you do fall in like with the person that's doing it. That's another thing. And see, that's kind of what I did with Gail. And I watched Gail Gustinelli for years. She was always doing something different, and I loved the Etsy orders or Etsy shares. That's what they were. Loved the Etsy shares because I'd get to see the new kits. I'd get to see things people would give her, and that's what she used later on to decorate or make journals with and that kind of thing. But lately I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with her. So all right, so this can go down in here, and I can pull it out now. That's good. And this is also going to be where the word thingy is going. So we're going to put that up there. But yeah, I know you all know what I mean. And it's hard to keep up. Some days I wonder if I need to go back or just do 2 days and 1 day off kind of situation. Because I have a lot of people say they can't catch up. And, I will run out of things to do here eventually. And I probably need to take a reprieve and rest my mind and that kind of stuff. So you let me know what you think. Oh, and this is the medicine cabinet. I saved it from another page. And he was talking about making up the alkaloid or something for her eyes, because she has that cough and she has sore eyes from working in Jeffrey's plant way back. And she actually met him that way. She had to write a letter to him, and Tracy Fox, she put in a freebie one time about the love story, and it was where Rose, and her last name was Tatting, like you tat something, Tatting. And she was telling him about, and I'm going to put that kind of right here. It almost looks like that wallpaper. But she was telling him about her problem, and she was going to have to give her notice, and she really was going to miss him and thought a lot about him or something. Like, she's kind of giving him the hint, So he writes back that he would very much like to take her out on a date or take her somewhere. I forget where they went, but that led to them getting married and then thus buying this house. They wanted a fixer upper. And so I I have it. I didn't print it out yet, but I have it saved and I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to mix it in because I already made those pages, you know. That was but I'm thinking that, you know, the investigators and stuff are just getting ready to come into the picture. At least Ernest is. And I'm thinking he's going to be having notes. I got to go back through and add all these notes and little handwriting pieces to my pages and stuff like that. That's how I'm going to introduce what he's talking about and what he's investigating. Now, I have a pile of rocks here because this pile of rocks started falling. I kind of like them over there more than there. Okay. I actually had them on the previous page with the piano, but I didn't start having this little play card here with the words board, or I don't know what to call that thing, about the stones falling until this page. So I had to rip them off, and I strategically put something over that rip off so it didn't mess the page up. You know how it is. Okay. Well, look at this. Now, this is the dining room or something. I'm assuming this is where she took Jeffrey to talk to him and that kind of thing when she was all tore up and everything. But look in the window of the cabinet. What do you see? I'm thinking, and I'm going to put this in here this way. I'm thinking that that is the person that caused all the stones to fall. And they were following around to see what happened. It's a call for attention, obviously, by the ghosts. And they're trying to get, you know, the young couple's attention in some way. And of course, Jeffrey, he's always at the plant. He's never really there. That kind of came up. I have to push that down again. So I guess they're trying to get the girls to see. And I have wondered, have you noticed that Alice, and I didn't ink the outside of this page, have you noticed that Alice is the one that first started discovering all these problems and issues? Graydon's over groaning. He's sleeping on the bed. But yeah, she's noticed all of these things that started happening. And really, they didn't start happening until she got there. And that's made me wonder if that might not be part of my story once the Ernest Brundle gets there and starts investigating. Because I've often heard, you know, I watch this stuff all the time. And you often hear that if there's a young person, especially one that's has gone through puberty or something along those lines, these things start to happen, especially the poltergeist situations. That's at least what I've seen in quite a bit of the shows that I watch that have to do with ghosts and hauntings and stuff like that. I haven't been watching too much lately because I was watching my ghost hunters, and they just they started dividing up and heading out on their own, going across the ocean. Oh, I got to push this in here because I got a blockage or something. But yeah, and I've got it again. So they were splitting up, and I just kind of quit watching. It's, you know, you get used to one thing, and you want to keep watching, and you want the old gang to stick together, in other words. Well, you know, I'm going to give up on that. Here, I'll shoot a little bit of fabric tack on there, and that'll do the trick just as good. All right, let's put it down. I think I put that 6 on there because that was the background I used. But yeah, it's something to do with that. And I don't know if that is the case here or what. Yeah, it's kind of fun to ponder, and it's like clues. And you got to find all the clues to see how this all is working. And if that might be the case, what would you do in that aspect? But I've already read the story, so I know I know at the end what the situation is. And it is not Alice, so but it might be something that Ernest Brundle puts in his notes, that as soon as Alice came into the area, the situation, and she worked at the plant with Rose. They're cousins, and they worked together, and they both came down with the same affliction. And the next part I'm going to read to you from Jeffrey has to do a little bit about that, and then it'll go into the day 20 situation we're going to encounter. I'm trying to get this edge down really nice. And, and then this one went into here. And then this one swings out that way, and that goes in there like that, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah. See, I did have the stones right down here, but it really didn't happen that day. It happened the next day. or after she set back or something. I don't know, the way they situated it. But I do have to put my day 19 on here. Let me see if I have a 1. I know I have a 9. I was having to cut some extra 1s there at one point. I think I got one right there. Yep. Oh, I did have one. Where'd it go? I think that's it. I flicked it and it came off my... There. All right. So we're just going to put that in here. Oh, I got to get this open. Hang on. Okay, I got this thing wanting to work again. Amazingly enough. So let me get this down. And I will continue with the story. Continue. Let me cap it. Make it happy. And I'm going to write number 6 on here so I know. Okay. What background that was. Oh, and I got to put this behind. Right there. And I have to start a new signature. And you won't see it today. But you were asking me... Sorry, Allison. You had gotten the kit and the ephemera and all that, and you were trying to figure out what I was doing. Well, when I first started this page, it wasn't exactly going to go to the back. It went back here. But I had to have a whole page to make a signature because I have to have a front and a back to sew through. So that's what I was doing. Actually, I only used 3 pages on this one. I think I may have used 4 pages to make up this signature. That's why it's bigger. But yeah, that was the whole concept of why I had to go around to the back. So this is my base page. So it's going to go like this because... Wait a minute. No, it's going to go like this. I'm not going to have anything that's needing to be cut out, so I don't have to have a background paper. But on these other ones, I may. So that's why I want that background there, in case I do any more cutouts and I don't have to ink over it and that kind of thing. So here's all of our pieces and parts for day 20. And day 20 has horrified to discover several plates and bowls laying broken on the kitchen floor. I love, love, love this floor. I'm loving it. So it's made to be a double tag or just a tag you fold over and glue. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually, and this, I don't need this right now. That's just what I got to glue to. This is my piece for my kitchen. And I could go either way with it. I think I'll go that way. It looks a little better. This is a piece of scrap that I had left over from an old paper pad, and I'm going to use it for a pocket. It's very close to this. Gives a little sparkle. And I'll have the tag, the little story plate, this double tag, and then this tag is what came with that page. And you can see the beautiful towel work there. It looks like it's a little different than this one. Yeah, look, it's different now. They didn't keep that consistent. What would that be called in the movie business? That was one of the flaws or something. Okay, so I have had these Stickopotamus stickers. I got different ones, and I've been trying to use them up. I used to get them at Walmart. They're on this one little place in the card section. You probably remember where I'm talking about. So there's different ones. There's ones that show the tread, and then there's ones that are just black and white. So they see, from the story, you'll see why I need these. And then I have black, because I'm gonna put this card or the tag on a black base, and you'll see that on the outside of it. Okay, so back to the story. Ooh. All right, what do we have here? We have, where's all my pieces and parts? There we go. All right, so this is where Jeffrey had helped Rose with her eyes and her migraine and put her to bed. And then it says, in fact, as his diaries would later reveal, and I didn't realize Jeffrey had a diary, but he must have. So that's like a key thing to remember. Jeffrey was quite deeply concerned for both Rose and Alice. He wondered if their exposure to the chemicals at the factory and their subsequent physical difficulties was having some effect upon them, although he could not be certain what effect that could be. Maybe later, maybe their eyesight had somehow become corrupted, perhaps due to all the dust and flaking paint in the east wing. He also entertained with a creeping sense of apprehension the idea that perhaps there was some kind of inherent family condition, a strain of mental instability of which he had hitherto been unaware. Surprise! He had never known Rose to exhibit any symptoms of psychological asininity, and started to grow anxious that he might lose her, that she might slip away from him. Over the following several days, he stayed at home, taking care of both Rose and Alice, not allowing them to do anything other than rest and relax. He prepared for them a regimen of very mild sedatives. On the advice of a local doctor, he had arranged to meet without the knowledge of the two women, just so they would be able to sleep through the night and suffer less stress during the day. He felt distaste at doing such things, since it went against his nature, but he could think of no other way to help them through this difficult time. All right, this is starting into the day 20. At night, as the women slept, Jeffrey undertook brief investigative tours of the house, examining the rooms for any signs of broken windows or shattered locks, and even looking around the garden in case local ne'er-do-wells were lurking, but found nothing. The house was cold and quiet, but it seemed to him at peace, which only made him fear further for the welfare of his wife and her cousin. Then, after another few days had passed, much to Jeffrey's relief, both women reported that they were much better, that they didn't know what had come over them, and were now feeling much more than their usual selves. Surprised by this change, and persuaded that they had indeed recovered from whatever had ailed them and caused them such distress, Jeffrey returned to work at the factory at the beginning of October. The following night, as her husband slept peacefully, Rose was briefly disturbed by what sounded like shuffling feet across the linoleum of the kitchen floor. Assuming it was Alice and not wanting to bother Jeffrey, she soon fell asleep again. Then, at some time after 2 o'clock, they were both awakened by the sound of gentle knocking outside their room, like someone tapping against the wooden door frame, and then with a tumultuous let me get that word out. Tumultuous force. It seemed as though something very large and very heavy had been allowed to roll down the stairs. They rushed to the door to see what could have been responsible, but found nothing in the entrance hall. Had changed, and no damage had been done. Turning back to their bedroom, they were then horrified to discover several plates and bowls laying broken on the nearby kitchen floor. Shards of shattered ceramics and bent cutlery covered the entire space. Extremely panicked, the Binders returned to their bedroom, wedged the door closed with a cabinet, and spent the rest of the night discussing again Rose's previous experiences. Jeffrey full of apologies for not having believed her and promises of bringing the situation to a close. Now, I think back there with the little the tea party that I did, I'm going to have to look back after I get done filming this, because there was bent cutlery in that one too. I love similarities. I really, really do. And I hope you don't mind me reading that, but I don't think anybody else is reading the story. I mean, and if you didn't buy or go and join up or any of that kind of stuff, you're not going to have been able to see any of that. So I feel it only fair to read it to you so you can understand it. And then I'll tell you when I'm adding something else to the story that isn't right on the money, It's just my little offshoot. Like the thing with Alice, possibly being a conduit of the happenings. That kind of thing. All right, let me go ahead and put this over here to the side, and I'm going to get this glued down here so I can cut that and get this construction paper off the table. I know there's a lot of you enjoying this. Shout out down in the comments who all has been really enjoying this. I know there's a couple of you that haven't, because I haven't heard from you on these days. So I'm just curious. I know there's some of you out there that like the scary movies like me, and you like the mysteries. I'm okay with murder mysteries. I don't like gruesome. I don't like the ones that are like real life stuff. I don't like to handle that. I don't want to handle that. Like Charlie Manson's crap, and reading about what could actually happen out there in the world. I don't like that. I like anything that's more of a sci-fi, and the special effects. I do love special effects and how people can make stuff look and seem for real when it's actually not. Or to our understanding, it's not. Alright, I got that cut down. And I may have to cut it a little bit more. I don't know. A little bit on this side needs to be trimmed. Oh, almost trimmed too much there. Yeah, so, yeah, I know that vampires and werewolves and that kind of thing is not for real. So, I can live with watching that. And I was trying to think of one of the movies that I watched. It had several, movies of it, but I can't remember the name of it. It's I can't think of things. It's horrible. All right, I'm going to come down this one line here and cut off the top of this tag, because I don't want that part on there, to make this look more like a square floor. I love how distressed it looks. Don't you? All this worn part that's chipped off. I don't know if that looks like it's a legitimately chipped off part of a floor. We have a modular home here, and it's actually a little longer than I need it to be, but oh well. Let's see. I have a tag that I need to do something with. And I had thought to put this down at the bottom maybe as a pocket for it to tuck into. Is that going to be the best way to go about it? Or maybe I can make like a little triangular tuck. That might work. Yeah. But let me see. Where do I need to cut this? Oh, right there actually. Along that line. I'm trying to remember if I was saying something. You know me, I'm going to forget. Oh, all right. One more scrub here. Oh, I was telling you about a modular home. So we have a modular home. And what happened was we decided to have linoleum. You know, we're not going to live above our means or anything. We thought, you know, linoleum in the bathrooms and in the kitchen was fine enough for us. And, you know, we can always change it later on down the road. And then we had carpet everywhere else. Well, turned out that the glue that they've used in the gluing down of the linoleum started coming through. I kept thinking I was spilling tea on the floor. You know, I could have swore I was spilling tea and it was staining the floor. I don't drink coffee, so that I knew that wasn't it. So yeah, it ended up being the glue because it was in the bathroom. His bathroom. It's not coming out in my bathroom, which has not the first window. It's no window on that in that area because it's in the very center kind of the house. So I don't know if it has to do with the sunlight coming in and doing that or not. I mean, isn't that weird? I'll go ahead and throw some ink on that too. So yeah, kind of odd, very, very odd. All right, I'm going to figure out where I want to have something like that. It doesn't need to be very big. Let me get my cutter. So yeah, so that was a mystery to us for a long time until we kind of figured out, oh well, it has to be the glue. What is going on? It's the glue. Okay, that'd work. It just, you know, you buy something and you think it's gonna be well made. But I guess it's kind of like, you know, the two-way tape. You know, the score tape, a lot of people call it. Because I was using it in the very first journal that I made. And I've showed you before where it has stain. It's sort of, it came through. The goo, or whatever you want to call it, actually came through. I kind of like that. So yeah, let's glue that down after I see if it has any issues here again. So yeah, it just, and then at year 20, we started having trouble with everything in this house. Everything went in that kitchen. The refrigerator went, the microwave went, I think the dishwasher went, I think the stove went, didn't it? It was just everything. And then I think the washer felt left out, so it went as well. We don't use the dryer as much. See, we hang outside all the summer long, so don't have to worry about too much then. Okay, so I've got the tuck down that's going to hold this. And then we have our saying that's probably going to go there because it would, yeah, it would be under that if I put it on the other side. And I'm really wondering if I got room for another row of flooring up there. So let's do that. Let's just do that. It's not quite square. Look at that. Isn't that weird? Is there one bigger than the other? Well, I'm going to have that on that part of it, so I don't think it's going to hurt anything. Oh my gosh. Isn't it? There's never, a dull moment. Everything keeps you on your toes, too, doesn't it? Oh. But yeah, we have recently, we went to wood floors, and he wanted to put them in, so the only place that's carpet is in here, and boy, this little floor catches every bit of that mess that hits the ground. Oh. That's why I don't show you, I haven't showed you a flip through yet. I gotta clean the floor, which isn't easy because Mr. Grayland will run and hide for over a day if he hears that vacuum cleaner. He hates that vacuum cleaner, so I gotta somehow get him outside, occupying with something. Maybe Roger can take him up the hillside and do something with him. I don't know. And then I'll do the vacuum cleaner. But then he still hears it. It's just, it hurts his ears. All right. They should have just gave me a whole page of this floor. I really wish they had. I love this floor. All right. So this is going down up here. And I got to put my feet are going across the floor. Now, Jody Lewis Creation, she did a cool one. She took Barbie. She goes to yard sales or something, and she found some Barbie shoes. And so she got her a couple of pairs of shoes. She asked the lady if she could just have the shoes. Lady said, okay. So anyhow, that was funny. But she actually dipped them in paint or something, and then she went across with her feet. So let's see what we can do here. And I really like the idea of the see-through ones more than the solid ones, to tell you the truth. So I think I used to do things with these little shoes or feet. Let's come up from the bottom. How about that? But we're just going to try to get them off of here. They've been on here a while. So we're going to start down here. I think I used these before in my Princess journal over there. It's the Stamperia Princess. And I used it for the waltz. I did something for every day that had to do with the life of a princess, the life and the day of a princess. And I had something about the tea parties, and then she would have the waltz that she had danced to. And what else was it? There was all kinds of stuff. I had something with all of her jewelry. Okay, we're going to go up this way. This guy's kind of willy-nilly. I kind of wonder about putting one of them weird people behind the tag. I'll have to show you when I get done here. It's one of those that had the mask on their face, and I don't know. I couldn't figure out what to do with them because they were just like I said, they had a mask on, and I never really got anybody to explain to me why the mask was in this digital. I never have had anybody explain to me exactly why there's two pictures of stacked chairs. I mean, there was never anything about that. Or something about dishes on the dining room table. But other than that, no, nothing to do with stacked chairs. So some of this stuff I guess was just up to your interpretation of the story. All right. They're going to cross the floor and the wall. Okay. All right, we'll do that. So they're still on the actual floor. Just a bit. All right. There we go. So we can put our feet away. And yeah, it's a little shiny, but that's okay. Like I said, this one does not have much of anything. Let me show you those people. Here they are. See, I've seen people using this one. I used him for the doctor when the doctor got killed. And I guess that was supposed to be his wife. And then there's a lady there. See, they're all wearing a mask. And then I've seen a lot of people use this lady. Her mask is like that one that I used with the top hat. And she's the one that I'm wondering if I shouldn't try to add her in here. Just for the spooky element, you know. I had thought about putting her on the back, but I may make that with something where you can write on it. I mean, you can see the shards and stuff all over. But I thought if I put her there, that might be kind of spooky dooky. All right, let me trim her out and we'll come back and check it out. Okay, what do you think? I don't think she's too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and put me a little bit of ink around her. She looks like she's got almost skeletal hands, but she's not a skeleton. That's really weird. It's almost like she's been left to rot for a while or something. Alright, I'm going to get in here with a little bit of ink. See if I can tone down the white. Okay. Now let's see what we can do about getting her down here. I mean, I can still see, if I put her like right there, I can still see the plates. I can still see the shards. I'm not messing up anything in the storyline, but this may give us the reason or the cause of the shuffling. Since the place was not built until 1860, was it 3 or 5, somewhere around in there, you know, it makes you wonder who the ghosty people are. All right, let me see about putting this down. And I'm going to have her right above and sticking off to the left, or right, just a tad. And this will give us our spooky element. Just shoes on the, you know, shoe prints. Well, actually, there was no footprints. They just heard the shuffling. And Jody Lewis was the one that come up with the idea of having feet going across. She's about the only one I really was watching do it. So, because she was really following the story and wasn't, you know, going off on tangents and ignoring the story and all that kind of thing. So, I was really enjoying what she was doing. All right, our other page, this one. So this is going to be the first of this signature, so it has to go on this page. So we're going to open this up and glue it down. And do I have anything to show you today? I don't have anything printed off, but I was going to tell you about, I'll have to show you the outside cover. But I had made a cover the other, like last week, that involved the stencils, the letter and number stencils. that you would have around the house, and if you needed to use them to spell out something or, you know, make a big sign, that kind of thing. I've had them. I've had them for years. And about everybody probably has them in the cupboard or their junk drawer. Ours is always in the junk drawer. So we had those. And they just, you know, needed to have some new life blown into them. So I put them on that cover. And it really turned out neat. Now, am I over too far? Yes, I am. Can I still pull it? I don't know. No, I'm not too bad. Let me go ahead and rub that down real quick. I'm not too... Oh, I forgot to put my washi on there. That's what's missing. So I'm going to have to put my washi on there. And I'm not sure. I've got a gray up here. It's a skinny gray because I don't want it to be too big since I forgot it. I don't think the gray will hurt. I don't think you'll see that much of it. So let me put that on here. This is some really old washi and probably cheap because I got it at Walmart. So we're going to put that down right here. Where am I in the dead center? There. Okay. And there. Oh, always something, isn't it? All right. It needs to be trimmed. And then on this end as well. This doubling up always helps it because it strengthens it. And then I think I can just put my scorched timber along the edge. It might get covered up, but if it doesn't, this will take care of that little bit that's sticking out. Yep, took care of it. Can't see it now, can you? So I need to fold it in half. And make it go down. Oop, I got a little bit. Needs to go down there. And then I have a little bit I think I need to trim on the top. Okay, there. Still hanging on. Okay, so our two pages don't really go together today, but they are together side by side. Here we go. And it sort of ties itself in because of that little bit that you can still see there. But you can actually tell that it's two different rooms. Now here is here's the cover I was talking about. And my friend Wayne, he was telling me about this digital kit from Crafty Cat USA that's called Abandoned. And it's got sort of these coppery tones in it and teal colored tones. And I had just gotten these trucks. Oh, where are they at? I had just gotten these trucks from Tracy Fox Creative. And I have some pictures of our old GMC. That looks really, really close to this truck. But that's what I wanted in it. I wanted it to be kind of rusty looking. I wanted it to be like an old car or vehicle. And that's what it's going to be. And I even have a few pieces of my abandoned, what did I do with it? My abandoned, here it is. Tim Holtz paper pad. It's only an 8x8, but I was looking inside, and this piece right here, that has the colors that's in that kit right there. And so I can use that piece, and see the back has that orange. Kind of looks like, you know, the copper. I don't know exactly about that piece exactly, but there was another one back here. I think this one kind of looks like I could use it. I'll have to see once I print it off, because it does have some purple in it. I don't know if I want that, but I did have this kind of, well, that's burgundy. See, I'm trying to make do with what I got in here, but I think I didn't use a lot of it. That has blue. It may be this first and second piece is the only two I can use, but still, that gives me a little variation. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. I'm going to get this printed off, and then I'll show you the next video that I do, maybe how where I've gotten to on it. So anyway, everybody, all my subscribers and viewers, I really appreciate you coming, and come back again and see what I got to show you the next time. There's, oh, I got to put 20 on here. So there's day 19 and 20. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.